Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday, and I'm back. So, as always, we just want to thank God for letting us get through another week, because if you on here with me now, that means we made it through another week. We made it through another night that wasn't promised. We made it to see the sunlight. He didn't make our bed our cooling board, and he didn't make our last night our last night. Now, like I said yesterday, I'm continuing to lift up those that are bereaved this morning. The city of the Shenango Valley in general, they had a couple of funerals with young people. With younger people. So we want to keep the Lampkins family lifted up. Stacy Lampkin's family, her husband and her children, her sister, brothers, and her sweet aunt. We want to keep the Tilt Blackwell's family in your prayers. He was a year older than me, so they laid him to rest on Friday, and that those two hurt the town, hurt the valley, because they were very nice people, and their families are nice too. So we just want to keep them lifted up. For those that are heading into seasons where this is the first without your loved one, or those that are heading into season where this is your 10th without your loved one, we lifting you up in prayer. Please keep my work daughter, Danielle Alka, lifted up in your prayer as she journeys with her family in the Maryland area with a father who suddenly took ill. So, but how many know that you don't have to be old to get sick? And he was in great shape, which is going to help everything. So we just want to keep her lifted up because she's young like my kids. So a lot of times that age group can't really handle this type of thing. So keep her mom lifted up and her siblings. Also, anybody else that needs prayer, we always want to keep you lifted up in prayer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this message. I told y'all I was coming back. I told y'all. But last night's message, I could not wait till today. It was on me. It was on me. So if you didn't get a chance to listen to the one I put up last night, just go back to my page. And if you broke, just say that. So that's the title of it. If you broke, just say that. But please listen to it because it gets a lot deeper than that. So today's message, hey mom. Today's message is titled Expiration Dates. Now I know some of you are thinking, well, why is she up here this early in the morning talking about expiration dates? And that's a great question, because I was trying to figure out myself why he gave me this one. Now, most times when you hear the words expiration dates, you immediately think about food. At least I do. When I'm thinking about something, looking at somebody's expiration date, I'm thinking about food. But there are other things that have expiration dates. So let me give you the definition of an expiration date. An expiration date is a date after which a product, such as food or medicine, should not be sold because of an expected decline in quality or effectiveness. An expected decline in quality or effectiveness. And hold on to that right there because I'm coming back to there. But an expiration date is also defined as the date after which something like a credit card is no longer in effect. And you know, when I think about expired things, credit cards never come to mind, even though they expire. Because now when it comes to an expired credit card, it's a no-brainer. Because you will not be able to use that expired credit card anywhere. Hey, Sister Faye. Hey, John. In fact, you might as well cut it up because at that point, it's worthless to you. But real quick, raise your hand if you are the type of person that hold on to expired credit cards, even when you know you can't use them ever again. I don't. So don't look over here at me. But the other things, like expired canned goods and condiments, can be tricky Because if you all are anything like me, you say stuff like, oh, come on. The expiration date is really just a suggestion, not a hard and fast rule. They can't tell me what I can do with the stuff once I buy it. I'm not throwing away my good money. Well, my kids will tell you I am the queen of expired stuff in my cabinets. Probably in my freezer too, but they're probably so buried in the back, I don't forget about them. Things like canned goods, mayo, mustard, flour, and sugar. Because the way my mind is set up, I'm thinking, well, I never opened it. It looks okay. Doesn't smell bad. So it still should be good. And all of those things may be true. But just because you haven't opened it yet, just because it still looks good on the surface, and just because you can't smell anything wrong with it, doesn't mean you should still eat it, drink it, take it, or use it. But just like me, some of y'all say things like, well, after all, it's just a suggestion that I choose to ignore. And guess what? You're right. You can ignore it. But if you take a chance and use it or drink it or eat it anyway, you get the risk of getting sick or even getting food poisoning. And if anybody on here has ever had food poisoning, you already know that a trip to the ER is in your horizon. So you knew that stuff was expired because you looked at the date. And it wasn't just expired a week ago. No, we're talking a year ago, 2 years ago. But hey, I didn't open it yet, so it still should be good. Okay. See, the problem with people who think like me, people who like to take chances with certain things, even though there are warning labels that tell you what could happen if you use it after the expiration date. So when the worst case scenario comes to pass, don't you open your big mouth and try to blame the problem on the product when you clearly ignore the warning signs. Because they have on there, warning, not to be used after this date, not to be sold after this date. Do you think they put that on there just because they have room on the label, and so let's just put that on there? No, ma'am. No, sir. Now, what if we looked at our relationships just like this? And y'all knew I was going somewhere. So here I go. Remember, I said at the beginning of this message that the expiration date is a warning that things should not be sold because of an expected decline in quality or effectiveness. Well, in relationships, you have expiration dates. Yes, you do. Well, if you would heed the warning signs of this expiration date, some of us would save ourselves a lot of pain and suffering. See, I told y'all before, there are always red, white, and blue flags. Not just red flags. Red, white, and blue flags. Hey, baby girl. So, but we choose to ignore them. We act like we're colorblind when these flags are waving at us. They're calling your name. They're telling you, run the other way. Don't do a 360 because you'll turn right back around into them. Do a 180 and get out of there. But just like the way I think about canned goods that are expired, but I never open them, they can't be that bad. I never open them. I can't smell nothing. It don't look that bad until you look a little deeper. See, some of us are currently in relationships that have expired. Come on. Y'all know they expired. But since they're put up in the cabinet, since they're put back here where you can't see them, and as long as you don't open the cabinet, as long as you don't ask him a question, as long as you don't check his phone, as long as you don't go on his email, as long as he don't check your phone, As long as he don't check your email, sis. As long as you don't look close at them or put them to the test, then you can pretend like they're not expired. You can pretend like that relationship got some life to it. When you know, and everybody around you, even the blind man sitting on the corner knows that's over. Think about it. Some romantic relationships you have been in, and think about the ones that ended on a bad note. In my experience, now I've been married a long time, so I guess those little boyfriends I had before him, I don't know. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was I was doing. But when it ended on a bad note, then now you want to talk about him. You want to talk about all the bad things he did. You want to talk about his mama. You want to talk about his family. But you weren't doing none of that chirping when you thought things were going to last. Dudes, when it's over, you want to talk about her. You want to talk about how trifling she was. You want to talk about how easy she was. There's something wrong with you if you knew it was easy and you still went there. Say what I said. Now, I don't remember anywhere in my vows where it said, till death do us part, or we get to the expiration date. Whichever comes first. That was nowhere in the vows. Now, I don't think anybody starts a relationship with another person and end up at the altar and they say to themselves, well, if I can get a few good years out of them, like you buying a used car, if I can get a few good uses out of them, if I outgrow them, if I get too big for them, then I can go ahead and throw them away. Absolutely not. Especially those that think that you've outgrown somebody. Really? So you set up at the altar, you take the vow, or you're in a long-term relationship. You guys are supposed to be exclusive. But at some point, you start listening to chirping in your ear, telling you that you're better than them. You deserve better than him. He don't meet the standard. And you start believing your own hype. You start believing you outgrew them. You start believing, why won't you take them with you? What makes you, when you sit down and think that you outgrew them, how? How, Sway? How? Because you got a good job? Okay. Good for you. Because your credit score is higher? Okay. Good for you. But one person's trash is another person's treasure. So throw that piece, what you think is a piece of trash, away and see if somebody don't scoop it up. That's right, Keisha. How, Sway? So now you've outgrown them because you done heard somebody say that. You've outgrown them because somebody sing your praises as quick as they, and I'm off script. As quick as they sing your praises, they will talk about you like a dog. Trust me. I've been on this earth long enough to know. They will talk about you like a dog. So you better hold on to what you got, because you already know what you got. And you see what's out there. So you can try to justify your actions by saying things like, well, most of the people in my family don't have long-lasting relationships anyway. So I'm just keeping to the norm. Girl and boy, bye. Because that may be true, but it's still no excuse for continuing that unhealthy pattern. Patterns can be broken. Now, if it's a good pattern, you keep it up. If your mom and daddy was married a long time, if grandmama and granddaddy was married a long time, if all the people in your family got good relationships, then you should strive for that. But just because nobody has ever been in a relationship for a long time, nobody has gotten married for a long time, is that how you go into the relationship? Thinking, well, if it lasts for a little bit, then, well, I'm used to that anyway. No, ma'am. Hey, Tina. So some of you say, well, at least I've been in 1 or 10 relationships, but they all expired for some reason. For some reason, and you don't know. Okay. So you know the reason. I don't care how much you try to deny it. I don't care what you try to tell yourself or tell your friends or whoever. You know the reason why you can't stay in a relationship. If you're the one that keeps changing, like they can't even make a permanent partner because next week it's, and you're the common denominator. You got to look at you. You got to look at why that relationship expired. It's not the other 10 people that you've been in a relationship with. No, ma'am. No, sir. I don't care what you try to tell yourself. And if you start listening to yourself, you should record yourself so you can play it back. And if you listen to yourself, you'll see how dumb that sounds. And I said dumb. You'll see how dumb that sounds. So those relationships have obviously reached their expiration date. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying to anybody on here to stay in toxic relationships where you're being abused or being cheated on. That's not what I'm saying. Because anything that's toxic has the ability to kill you. If not kill you, get you close to death. People that have had toxic illnesses get stuff that's toxic. They're so close to death, they probably wish they were. But if that wasn't your case, in your expired relationship, you need to find out why you keep choosing ones that have clear signs of trouble up ahead. There's signs. You don't look at them. You don't want to look at them, but there's signs. Clear signs of their impending expiration date. So you won't waste your time. If you heard rumors that the last 3 chicks that he moved in with, he left them with their credit worse, their car wrecked, didn't pay no bills. Warning. If the last 3 chicks you've been involved with think that you are a simp and they keep coming after you, think you're a simp. Warning. Now, expiration dates don't just apply to romantic relationships, but some of our friendships, and this one is hard, come with expiration dates, although they might not start out like it. Because you know, you always hear somebody talking about they ride or die. My A1 from day one. And I wish that for all of y'all. But I can tell you from experience, I have 2 good best friends from my days in the project. And I'm 60, almost 61. I have 2 of my go-to. And I started out with everybody was my best friend. Because I was gullible. I thought everybody liked me and because I liked them. But that's not the case. And they show you. But you know what? I know you think you'll always be friends with them. Maybe. I know you think they will never betray you. But how many times have you heard about sis moving in with sis, and then next you know sis got sis dude? How many times when the third wheel moves up and becomes the second wheel? I'm just saying. I know you think if you're in need, they will be there for you because you're that type of person, and you will be there for them. Because you will be there for them at the drop of a dime. You'll stop what you're doing and run to them. When they won't even answer your phone call. You will leave your job early trying to run to them. And they won't pick up the phone. They send you the voicemail. Men, bye. Not all, but most times that's not going to be the case. Because just like that still half-full carton of milk that has been in your refrigerator way past the expiration date. I know you didn't open it. I know the lid's still on tight. But that date told you to throw it away a long time ago. So once you really look at this friendship, once you really put it to the test, and I don't mean purposely put it to the test, because life will lend tests for you. Things will happen in y'all's life that will make you see. And I believe that this is God doing this. He's done tried to warn you about this person. He done tried to give you screenshots of this person. But that's my girl. She would never. That's my dude. That's my A1 day one. He tries to give you little snippets, but you ignore it. So then he has to arrange a situation where you put it to the test. Pass or fail. There ain't no maybe, almost, I got a good grade. It was an F plus. No, you pass or fail. And once you put it to the test, then you realize you have to let it go. And I told y'all 100 times before that some people come into your life for a season or a reason. And once and it's up to you to figure out which one. But once their season is up in your life, and I don't mean they come to you in the spring and in the fall, you got to get rid of them. That's not what I'm talking about. They come into your life for a season. So they're only there for a season. They're only there for a little time. And you get what you get out the relationship, so you always going to learn something. You either going to learn, stop talking so much and telling all my business, because that person, all they did was got close enough to me to take it and run with it. Or you're going to learn, that was my go-to, and I changed. But everybody that you start out with, you're not going to end up with. Everybody that you rolling with can't go to your next level. Erica Thomas, I'm so glad you're here. Everybody that you start out with, you're not going to end up with. You can't take everybody to your next level. You can't drag them kicking and screaming, because some of them don't want to go to the next level. They like where they are. Leave them there. Erica Thomas. Beastie, leave them there. And you keep it pushing. You can't get to your next blessing until you get that dead weight off of you. You can't soar with people dragging you down, pulling you down. Get that dead weight off of you. Do some of this. Because they on your coattail, they riding you. Only to see what they can get from you. I'm off of you. Shake them off. Woo, okay. Once their season is up in your life, once you figure out the reason that you needed them in your life, and some people come to our life to teach us a lesson. Good lesson or bad lesson, they teach it. You learn whether you got your head bumped, or you learn from them how to be an entrepreneur. You learn how to be true to people. You learn how to be sincere. You learn how to stop lying. You learn how to stop manipulating, because the person you with is your friend is not going to tolerate it. They're not going to be with somebody like that. I'm in my season of no. I told y'all this. I'm in my season of no. No is a complete sentence, so I'm in my season of no. But I had to learn that, because I was a yes girl. Believe it or not, with all this mouth. At the end of the day, I wanted people to like me and do all the things. Now I don't. If you like me, that's nice. If you don't, that's nice. Because my existence is not predicated on whether you like me. My husband likes me, and my children like me, and my grandson likes me. So, you liking me is just extra. But if you don't, I don't lose anything. Now, I said what I said. So, once you find out why the person that you got to dump off came into your life, I told you, people come for a season or a reason. And it's up to you. You got enough sense to figure out why, which one it is. But everybody that starts with you can't go with you. And if you are on here and you are wondering why you're stuck in a certain position, why you're stuck in a certain place, look at your circle. Look at your crew. Look at your team. Hey, Damon. Look at your circle. Yes, and your circle and your crew. They may be holding you back. and what God has for you, they're not included in the picture. And I told y'all always, stuff doesn't have to turn into a thing. You just start pulling away. You just start pulling away because they're not going to chase you anyway. They haven't chased you all this time. You're the one that's been trying to drag them to your next level. They haven't been trying to go because your next level may be too hard for them to handle. Your next level may mean that they have to grow up and get some maturity. They don't want that. So they want you to go on ahead, but they don't know how to tell you, go on, leave me alone. So quit trying to drag people to your next level. That's why you're stuck where you are, because God can't use you yet. He's trying to teach you, let them go so that you can go. And it may be hard. You may have some crying, some nights where you're going to cry because you miss what you think was a good friendship. Could be not. But I bet if you sat down, had a piece of paper and put all the good things and all the bad things, I bet you that bad list, you'll have to turn to another page. So move on. Keep it pushing. But if you on here and you're stuck in a pattern, you can't understand why you can't get to the next level, you can't get to where you're supposed to be. Look at the people around you. And that includes family. Don't get it twisted. Because just because we got blood, we share the same blood, don't mean that you mean me any good. I mean, even family gets jealous of your success, even though they have the same opportunities. They get jealous of your success. So even if they still going to be your family, but you don't have to be involved with them. Yeah. Gone. So even if your family is holding you back, you got to get the dust off, shake the dust off and keep it pushing. Or God is not you can't get to the next level. And at your next level, He's going to have people there for you. They're already there waiting for you to get there. Every place we had to move to, God supplied us with what we needed. He supplied me with a good girlfriend. In Scranton, in Xenia, in Cincinnati. People that have like minds. We ain't competing with each other. We lifting each other up. We cheering each other on. We want you to do well. Whether you bring us or not, we want you to do well. That gives me bragging rights when that's my girl up there talking. That's the kind of person I am. So I started this. The title of this was Expiration Dates. And that's in your romantic relationships, whether you're married, engaged, long-term, whatever y'all call it, and your friendships. Some people you got to let go because they can't go with you. And that includes family. And don't you let nobody tell you, don't you let the elders, okay, I'm going to get in trouble. Don't you let the elders in your family tell you blood is thicker than water and I don't care what they did to you. That's your bull. Okay. No, ma'am. It ain't, I don't care what they did to you. That's still your, absolutely not. Because you wouldn't say that if the girl down the street did it to me, you say cut them off. So no. Nope. So even if you're family, you got to cut them off, sis. Cut them off, bro. Do what you got to do. Because everything has a beginning, and if it has a beginning, it has an ending. Some of us are fortunate enough to have friends from the sandbox. Some of us just got us a good friend later on in life. But also, and I'm going to leave you with this, you have to know how to be a friend in order for somebody to be a good friend to you. So, listen, I got to go because church is starting. So, thank you all for jumping on here. Please, if you get a chance today, go back and watch the live that I did last night. And it was called, If You Broke, Just Say That. Go back and watch that. Because I have some nuggets in there that everybody could use. Now, you all have a blessed day. And if you think that this would help anybody, if this message, if you know people that have expired, but you still hold on to them, share this message. Have a blessed week.